Okay, I cannot hear you. You're unmuted, but I cannot hear you. So take your time. Yeah. Now you're deafened. You're deafened now. Oh, okay. Now you're not deafened. I still can't hear you. Don't worry, we'll get through this. We've gotten pretty far. All right. So they're working for it. Working on it. Oh, hey, Narita, thank you for the 500 bits. Much appreciated. They're working on it. So it's so if your mic is being picked up, then I'll make sure, I guess, you're not muted on your mic itself. That's one thing. Make sure that you have the right one. Oh, sorry, did you say something? No, can't say anything. Okay. But take your time. I am not in a hurry. Look at her setup. This is professional. I know, right? Like, look at her setup. Her setup is so fancy. It's so fancy. In my fucking bedroom. It's so fancy. Right? It's like there's a difference. Like there's a professional. Yeah, like streamer suspense right now, right? We're all in suspense. But I'm actually really excited to talk to this person. Really excited. I still cannot hear you. I still cannot hear you. I'm sure you're saying wonderful things, insightful things right now. Just it's I don't know, maybe we might have try maybe using, if you have like a mic attached to your computer, like other than that mic, maybe a different mic, if you could give that a whirl. So we are so close, guys, so close. All right, she either has push to talk on, or she needs to set her mic correctly in Discord settings. Yeah. So yeah, do you have push to talk on? That might be a thing. How do you even, yeah, so if in your voice and video settings, right, in Discord, there's an input mode under where it says input device and says let's check. Underneath that says input mode. Make sure it's on voice activity, not push to talk, because in that case, okay, it is. All right. Okay, all right. What else could it be? Still can't hear. Okay. Yeah. Damn, Discord doing stuff again. Did you check the Discord audio settings? Hey, Doobie, do me a favor, right? Jump in here. Okay. Jump into the private room. What I want you to do is take a look. I'm going to see if she can share her screen, and then she'll share her screen just with you, and doesn't have to share it with me necessarily. So hopefully, so maybe like if you can share her Discord screen, then maybe you can help her through it. So she popped out. Hopefully she'll be back in. Hey, Doobie.
Hello.
Hey. Yeah, so she popped out. Hopefully she'll pop back in. Hopefully maybe you can be of assistance to her. But yeah, I'm super excited because I had were you there when I was reacting to her videos?
No, I don't think I was.
Ah, okay.
But
yeah,
but I know who she is. I watched her video.
Oh, okay. All right, just separately. We had a long conversation about her stuff. Let's see. While we're waiting, for her to show back up, let me see if I can pull up her channel because just Pearly Things. I remember she had a few interesting
Hey. What up, guys? Welcome.
That's she had a few interesting things that we watched. Just scrolling through her channel, man, a lot of trans stuff she talks about, like a whole lot. And she's on the other side of
things.
things.
Thousand Sunny.
Okay, let me yeah, pull her in. Hello.
Hello.
Oh my God, we got her. Okay. All right.
Well, I will drop out.
Okay, cool.
It's weird because I can't see you.
You can't see me now?
No.
It's try
I
turning
promise that's for the best.
no, fuck you. Yeah, turn on. Yeah,
Oh
try
wait,
turning.
now I can see me, but I can't see you. Except
You can see.
I'm
you?
sorry, I have never used Twitch or Discord, so this is very new to me.
That's okay. That's okay. So I can't see you, and it doesn't look like your Discord saying your camera isn't turned on currently.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wait. Well,
So
I don't know why, because I see myself. Oh my gosh, you would not think that.
What? Go ahead.
You would not think that. You would not think I do this for a living, based on this.
Hello?
No worries. All right. Yeah, just take your time. So within your Discord window, do you see the turn on, turn off camera button? The camera. Oh, wait a minute. You clicked something. There we go. So.
Okay, I got it figured out. Miss Just Pearly Things. So when I DM'd you, wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so when I DM'd you and asked you if I could call you to help you set up the Discord settings really quick, so you call me and that call is still open. So you need to leave that call because your camera's actually on in that call, and that's why it's not working in this one. So go to the DMs. Like I just
DMs.
Yeah, at the very
top. There are the DMs. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're seeing yourself there. Not.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you leave that call, that should fix the problem.
Okay, turn off, turn on. Let's see. Did I leave the call? I think I did.
Okay. Are you just gonna say no? I don't know.
No, you're still in there. You just need to click the red like phone button.
Red phone. What's the call called? Is it on the left?
It is. What do you mean?
I mean, like, so on the left hand of this, like, I don't know how to get back to the call because I exited all the other Discord tabs.
It's okay. So I'm gonna ping you in those DMs. So you should see a little blob guy pop up. Click on the blob guy, and then there should be like a red phone call button, like a disconnect button.
Yeah, if you hover over your face, if your face is still there, or his icon, you'll see like a red disconnect button that'll pop up.
See, it's saying that I can join the call, but it's saying I'm not on it. I think
that's weird. Okay, so
can I remove you as a friend? Will that just automatically end the call?
That'd be extremely hurtful, but no,
it won't, and it won't automatically end the call.
So what I think maybe if you join that call, you see it's giving you the option to join it. So if you join it and then leave it, okay, she just left it now.
Yeah,
she should be able to jump back in.
She's working on it, everyone. She's working on it.
Yeah, no, I mean she just left the DM call that she had with me.
Okay. So maybe she just restarted.
Come back.
Yeah.
That's a weird problem. I've never seen that happen on Discord before.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's happening the way she says it's happening, it's unfortunate for a person who's brand new. But hopefully, she will be able to make it in. Just waiting. Just waiting. Let's see. I'm scrolling down and oh, okay. So I'm scrolling. I'm looking through my YouTube history. I'm seeing which videos of hers I watched. I watched quite a few of her videos.
Okay, she's back.
Okay, hey, JustPearlyThings. Could you, try turning on your camera again?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Right now, if you're talking, Pearly, we can't hear you. So hopefully that's not another issue. Oh, hold on. Things are happening. Things are happening. Huh?
Wait,
I see you. Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you. All right.
Yay. Okay.
Okay.
Problem solved. I saved it again. Love you guys. Have a good talk.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
First of all, my name is PrimeCayes. I'm not sure if you even know that, since someone just shared the stream with you. My name is Prime. So nice to meet you. Could you introduce yourself to my audience?
Yeah, my name is Pearl. I run the channel JustPearlyThings on YouTube.
Okay. Yes. I'm only familiar. I only just recently became familiar with you because I discovered your channel on June 4th, I can tell you, because I'm looking at my YouTube history.
Okay.
We were looking through. We were doing just like reacting to YouTube videos. We were looking at people within the manosphere, but specifically females, women, who kind of exist in that space. And so we started with Melanie King.
Yeah.
Melanie King led us to a real femme sapien, and that quickly led us to
Allie.
you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we were watching your stuff. You have a pretty interesting thing. I would like to talk to you about like a whole list of things. I think we would have a really fun discussion. But I know you have a very limited amount of time. You got your own thing that you're gonna be up to. So what did you want to talk about? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know a ton about your channel. I was just sent this stream a little bit ago, someone on Instagram, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a Twitch now. I can do Twitch. So this is my first Twitch real stream anyways. But so my question was, she said you were talking about trans women in sports.
Yeah.
What is your position on that?
I think that trans women should be allowed in sports, assuming they meet certain medical criteria in terms of like human replacement, testosterone replacement, and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so like what requirements?
I'd leave that up to people who know better than myself, right? So my understanding is that 2 years on HRT leaves them in a state that makes them far more comparable in terms of athletic ability to cis women.
Okay, so do you think that they have no advantage at all when they transition? Is that your take?
When have no advantage? No, it's not my take.
No.
Not at all.
Oh, okay, it's no. Okay, so why? So what? So you think they do have an advantage, or you don't know?
I think it depends on the individual, right? So some would have more advantages than others, right? I can fully believe that maybe for some like maybe a blanket rule wouldn't even work, right? That it has to be evaluated like individually. That we can maybe have a generalized benchmark, but then it's possible that a certain individual doesn't meet that benchmark, right? And maybe has to wait longer on HRT to,
So it would be different for different individuals. Like you don't think it could be a blanket? Like it couldn't be 2 years.
I'm saying I don't have enough knowledge to be absolutely certain of like just 2 years as a hard rule, right? 2 years is the latest I've heard through through news that's covered this, right? Talking about the specific situation. If there is further science on that, I'd be willing to hear it. However, my contention is that they might indeed have an advantage. But I think it's odd that this specific advantage is something that we care so much about. there are so many advantages in sports, right? Like people come with genetic advantages. People come with advantages in terms of either skill, knowledge, finance is another thing that we were just discussing, right? All those things set people apart. The level of training, all those things set people apart. But on this specifically, this one axis, right? Now we're banning people, which I think is really interesting.
So you think that a financial advantage is the same thing as a biological advantage in terms of you think it's odd people care about one and not the other? I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying correctly.
No problem. Yeah. So I don't think they're the same. I think they're different. These things manifest in different ways and they have different consequences. But I think that in terms of giving a person an edge, if that's the thing that we're concerned about, giving a person an edge, having access to like world-class trainers, right? And then not having access to that will make a difference, right? In your performance.
Right, but like you could take someone that's, poor and give them world-class trainers and they could be in a completely different position. So like I played semi-pro volleyball in Europe, right? And I played in college and I played in club in high school. And one thing in club, what they would do is they would sponsor low-income kids and they would take them like from their area. Like if they saw someone that was athletic, right? They would take them and give them the best trainers and the best training where like I can't physically become a guy and have that advantage, like bone density, wrist strength, that sort of thing. And among athletes, it's pretty, like, I'll give you an example. My brother, he's never lifted in his life. I've been lifting for 10 plus years. I will never be as strong upper body as my brother because they're just built different.
Yeah. Okay. So
and so someone that's like maybe low income, they could potentially, they could get money or like get in the right opportunity and then move up. But I can't make myself 6'7".
Sure.
Or make myself, go ahead.
But exactly. I mean, you beat me to it, right? I think you're already quite tall, but like you can't make yourself taller, right? And if being tall is an advantage in your particular sport, then like a person who is taller than you has that inherent advantage, right? Even if they're cis, right? They're a cis individual.
Right, but like, okay, so we're going to take height, right? So I'm in the top 1% of female athletes in terms of height. I would be in the top 15% in terms of men. So you would be essentially taking all opportunity away from girls like me because I can't compete with the top 15% of men. Because, okay, so I'm 6 foot, right? And I was short for D1 schools. I got overlooked for a lot of Division I schools because they prefer girls that are around 6'2". If you're bringing trans men into it, like, it's just not fair.
Well, not all.
And on top of that, what about bone density and wrist strength?
Yeah. So.
And lung capacity.
Okay.
And if it was equal, why don't women go into men's sports and start dominating there too?
Well, it's not. First of all, my contention isn't that it's equal. At all, right? So I'm saying that that's fine. I'm saying that there are individuals who come into a sport and dominate nonetheless. So the easy example, Michael Phelps, right? If you remember during the Olympics, the last Olympics where he competed, they did that super creepy fucking thing, right? Where they examined all his body, right? And gave you the whole breakdown. And like he has like webbed fingers and all. It was really weird. I didn't like that. But still, apparently he has a whole bunch of mutations that add up and happen to give him a series of advantages that cannot be not overcome. They can't be replicated by anyone else, right? It's just born with it, and he has that advantage. And
so there's no one ever in the history of men that could replicate that advantage.
I mean, ever. The things that he was born with, you're talking about, right? Like in terms of like the web fingers, like you can't replicate his genetic structure. But still, my point is that they allowed him to still compete with other men, right? Other men who don't have those same advantages. Like still, that's just the sport, right? Like either surpass that through training or you don't.
So, but my thing is, another guy could be born with that advantage too, correct?
It's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't have a girl that's gonna have the same lung capacity, bone density, and wrist strength as a dude. It just doesn't happen. And again, go back to my question as why aren't women dominating in the men's category? Like, because what you're gonna see is it's the end of women's sports. Because men are going to come in and dominate, and that's the thing, because I think a lot of people that aren't athletes don't understand that, like, we train 12 15 years for this. That's why a lot of people care. We spend our whole lives training for the little opportunity that there is in women's sports. And so for a couple moments that we get, and so in the case of Leah Thomas, like, that was an opportunity taken away from a biological woman.
So okay,
and so you go ahead.
Yeah. I understand why athletes would care, right? Like as an athlete yourself.
And honestly, sorry, one more thing. Why does it matter who's using the argument anyway? Like, it's either it's right or it's correct or it's incorrect. Who cares who's saying it? What does their intentions matter? It's either it's correct or it's incorrect.
No, intentions matter a lot, actually, right? Like there are people who there are individuals who like really care about gun violence, or black on black crime in Chicago, right? You know they care because they bring it up all the time, right? Well, no, they actually bring it up when they have an instance of like a police shooting a black man, like a white officer killing a black man, right? And then they'll say, why are we concentrating on this? What about the black on black crime in Chicago? These are people who don't actually give a shit about that, right? And who just use it as a political tool. So actually it does matter what your intentions are, because sometimes you can be disingenuous.
Right. But how do you know what their intentions are? You're never going to know what someone's intentions are, so why argue about it?
Hold on, you can absolutely make implicit.
You can make a judgment, but your judgment could be different than my judgment, right? So, like, going back and forth about like what are their intentions just seems like a bit of a waste of time.
No, it absolutely isn't a waste of time. It's actually to know that the person is good faith or bad faith, and the arguments, whether you should even be wasting your time talking to them. No, I think it actually does matter. We see that all the time in these discussions. We don't have to focus on that, but yeah. Okay. So you talked about men coming into women's sports. One, there isn't a flood of trans individuals coming in, trans women coming into women's sports, right? This is not like this great tidal wave, but right, like even among those who have
so far,
even as exactly.
A national swimming title was taken from a woman, but okay.
And here's the thing, and this is my problem, right? The fact that if there's any success from a trans woman, any success at all, right? It must be. It must be because of that advantage they have, right?
So have you seen pictures? Have you seen pictures of them? You can't. You don't think he was at any advantage? None.
Okay, so she, right? So, like, I think that people on your side of the argument, even if trans individuals were like last place, you'd be saying, hey, they're taking a spot away from someone. It doesn't matter. Like their performance level, like if they perform anything above, if they are included in the competition at all, right? It's taking away a spot from apparently someone else who is deserving, but apparently didn't train hard enough. I think that's pretty disgusting, especially again because there are other women who have other advantages. Like if a cis woman is born with elevated levels of testosterone, she's going to have an advantage, right? But you can still let her play, correct?
If she has elevated, I don't know enough about women that have elevated levels of testosterone. I'm just like, that's not something I've really looked into.
But that would be an advantage, right? Like if testosterone is an advantage that people like point out.
But okay, that's one out of many though. Bone density, wrist strength, lung capacity that men have an advantage, and height that men have an advantage over women.
I hear you. Height is variable, right? Like
by and large, men are taller than women. And if you look at the extreme cases, so if we're going to go to the extremes, because that's when you look at the top athletes performing, like it's going to be the extremes, right? Because those are the best of the best in both divisions, right?
First of all,
so by and large, like the WNBA is going to be shorter than the NBA, correct?
I I guess yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, come on, yeah.
No,
and that's what I'm saying. Like when you take,
I imagine so. I'm not trying to be bad faith. I'm just not like a sports guy, so that's
yeah. And I hope you know, like I like you as a person. You seem very nice. This is just I'm just trying to debate with you. Okay?
No,
I don't.
Hey,
yeah. Okay.
On this channel, we get vicious to each other, right?
Oh,
but
okay.
We don't take it personally, so we're all good.
Okay. But I'm saying by and large, men have an advantage because that's why we say it's going to be the end of women's sports. Because if you start to see men, by and large, that you could say, I know you would say like trans women, but like just for the sake of the argument, I'm going to say men. Okay, just to be clear of who we're talking about. So men that have transitioned into women, by and large, like you're going to see them taking women's spots at the top division, and that's what you saw already with Leah Thomas.
Except
go ahead. Sorry.
In the vast majority of cases, right? If you look across all leagues and like all divisions, and the vast majority of women's sports where trans individuals are there, trans women aren't winning. They aren't making it to the podium, right? Isn't that like if we look at reality and we look at the individuals who are on top of polos? You have Leo Thomas, right? And you have that Hubbard individual who did the weightlifting thing, right?
But I think one is too many. One is too many because you don't understand. Like one is too many because when you think about it, those girls have trained for 12 years. 12 plus years. We spent our whole life training for the little So we've spent our whole lives training for the little opportunity that we have in women's sports. And now we're competing against people that have a biological advantage over us.
Everyone has a biological advantage. Someone has you have a biological advantage over someone else, a cis woman. If we eliminate all the trans women, right?
Okay.
If we do
then
that,
why aren't women competing in men's sports?
No, I'm
because you've agreed that it's not equal. So if they have an advantage, why are you letting them compete?
If they have, I don't
like lung capacity. Yeah.
So
like,
I think
like lung capacity.
So according to the science that I've seen, that them going on HRT, them going through the transitionary process, evens the playing ground into a discrepancy that is fair. You can't eliminate discrepancy because how would you do that? Like, how would you who would you match them up with, right? You can't that's not a thing that can actually happen, right? But you lower the discrepancy there to, I think, an acceptable degree. And again, there's discrepancies if you take trans women out of the conversation between everyone who comes into a sport, right? I'm sure you'd have an advantage over me if I played fucking volleyball. I'm sure you'd crush me because you have certain advantages there, right? Including the skill, including the training, and all the other things, and that's okay.
But see, it's not the same though, because here's the thing. Like I played basketball also for 12 years. Like I played in college. I did basketball, volleyball, I ran track, right? And the thing is, even with all the basketball training that I've had, I know if I go against a dude, even with the same training and the same skill level, he beats me every single time.
And the same.
Is
that the case? No, we've seen men and
Okay, then why did the 16-year-old soccer team beat the international women's team? The men's 16 teens team beat the best women's team in the country.
I haven't heard that. That sounds fucking
that's
hilarious.
Absolutely that's absolutely true.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not saying you're lying. But I haven't heard of that. So
yeah, they kicked ass.
It's gonna make it difficult for me to commentate on that because I just don't know.
Well, and the other thing is like you're not the one that's directly experiencing the results. So like it's easy for you to say, oh, compete against them, right? But when I go up against dudes, we get our ass handed to us. And it's just it's like easy to say that from the outside looking in when you're not the one that's going up against them.
Okay, so one, I don't think you're going up against man. I think you're going up against a trans woman who has met some sort of medical standard for entering the competition, right? Some sort of equitable standard. So that would mean them losing some of that advantage and being within a discrepancy.
Some of that advantage, but not lung capacity, wrist and wrist strength.
You have more lung capacity. You have more lung capacity than some other women, right? Correct?
No, I have asthma.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't use lung capacity, but fair enough. Fine. Whether it be
pretty
bone
bad
density,
lungs.
fair enough. I'm sorry to hear that. But
Okay,
whether it
I'll
be
make it. I
bone
still
density,
kill it.
fair enough. Bone density or whatever it is, right? You have an advantage over another woman in your sport, a cis woman in your sport, correct?
Do I have an advantage over it depends on the woman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But-
it depends.
But by and large,
if
an
we ranked
average
you-
guy has more lung capacity and wrist strength than the average woman. So by
Okay.
and large, yeah. So
Okay.
by and large, you're going to see women losing titles,
I
which isn't
guess-
fair. Why don't women have
but
the
we
right to
haven't
their
seen
own
that.
division?
But
Why
we-
don't Leah Thomas just did it? So
Yeah,
that's the first.
We have yes, we have,
And that's a
and
very
so-
small percentage of the population. That's a very small percentage. You're already seeing the titles.
If there's
going.
actually,
Why don't women have the right to their own division?
They do. We have them, and we're including more women.
Why don't
in that division.
biological women have the right to their own division?
Um.
Why do men always need to invade women's spaces?
That's lovely. I am certainly not advocating for men to invade women's spaces. I only want women there, right? And so we're just including our trans sisters into those spaces. So once again, trans individuals have met a certain medical standard. Those are the individuals. I think that if we saw we had a situation in which trans women were consistently on the podium, right? Across these sports, and they were consistently on the podium, and they were locking cis women out, I think you'd have a much better argument. I think I'd be on your side. Well, like it seems like there is some insurmountable
So let's just wait till that happens.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because I'm not convinced yet that there actually is a problem. You still have yet to convince me of that. Like, if we look at actual reality, right? There are very few individuals.
Can we pull up a picture? Can we pull up a picture of Leah Thomas versus the second place? You cannot tell me in your right mind.
Everyone, look, everyone has. Fuck, I forget what I was going to say. Everyone has some sort of advantage. God, that wasn't what I was going to say. I forget what my point there. Fuck, what was the last thing you said? It's okay. We'll just continue on. Looking at reality as it stands, right? You would expect that with the amount of trans people, and there are a significant amount of trans individuals who are in these sports, that we would already see this, that we already see the field tilting. But we don't, right? We have an exception, right? Being Leah Thomas, and like there's like a handful of others.
How many trans people are in the sports? You said it's not a significant amount, so how many?
I said not. I said it's not an insignificant amount.
Okay, I was just curious if you knew how many.
I don't know exactly how many. I know that in some states where they pass these laws, I believe it was in Ohio. If I'm getting that wrong, please excuse me. But in Ohio, they passed a ban on trans women in sports, or trans girls in sports, and there's literally one of them in the fucking state.
What percentage of the population is trans? I'm just curious. What percent of the population is trans? Less than 1%. So you have less than 1% of the population, and you already see a title being taken by less than 1% of the population.
We have that one title. Oh no.
It's okay. Okay, I know. I understand the sarcasm because it's not a big deal for you. But when you've trained 15 years, when you've trained 15 years your whole life for an opportunity just to have it taken away by a guy that has a biological advantage over you, like it's not. Oh no, when you're the person that's in second place.
Sure. The sanctimony won't doesn't mean anything to me, right? So like it actually does mean something to me because of discrimination that my trans brothers and sisters are facing. That's why it means something to me, right? I know I'm not an athlete like you. I know I haven't trained. That's fair, right? But when I see discrimination, that's a problem for me. Always. Doesn't matter if I'm involved.
How is it discrimination when it's a law? Like it's biological men, biological women. Like how is that discrimination? Or not a law, but like if the rules is biological men, that's one division, biological women is one division.
okay, how's it discrimination when there's a rule? Whites in one league and blacks in another league. It's
That's
a
a good
rule.
argument, actually. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, fair enough. But do you think that all the divisions should be like together then, no matter what? There shouldn't be any separation.
So
Like, do you think men? So, because then, like by that logic, then like all men should be able. It should just be one division.
Yeah. So I think that. Well, I don't know. I am not a sports expert. I stipulate that. Keep that in mind.
Oh no.
However, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would imagine that there might possibly a sport where men and women can compete on an even ground, right? I was thinking maybe fucking like curling. All right, that seems something that you could probably do. But there could be
Wrist
other
strength.
sports.
No.
Yeah,
Wrist
there could be
strength,
other.
no.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know
Go
about
ahead.
that.
Okay.
If there was a sport in which the advantages weren't so stark, right? Then I think you could, right?
Right.
I think that.
But if there's
overall,
always,
like,
but if there's always advantages and advantages don't matter, then why don't you just make one division?
no, I'm saying again.
Because you were saying earlier that like there's always going to be advantages, right? So then why have a division at all? Why have a women and a men's division? Why not just have one?
Sure, right. But what I also said is that when trans women go through their transformation, they and like on HRT for a certain amount of time, they lose some of that advantage, right? It's not that there will be no advantage, right? Because that's not a thing. Like that thought really doesn't even make sense when it comes to sports, right? Like it doesn't register to have no advantage.
Right.
But like you can lower that delta, right? That difference to a point where it can be within an acceptable range. And I'll leave that up to individuals who have more knowledge, medical knowledge, to figure out what that level should be.
Yeah, but because what I just don't understand is because your argument is that if there's always going to be advantages, like they should be allowed in. So then why not have one division? Why not just have one?
Because of the things that I just said, Pearl. I that was my answer just now.
I didn't think it was that good a one. No offense.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But like that was my answer.
Because you're saying that it lowers the advantages, but it's still they're still at an advantage.
Yes, and you still have an advantage over someone else, right? So
let's just get rid of the divisions. Let's get rid of it. Why have a division at all?
For the things that I just said, so there's no reason for me to repeat those things. So like I don't know, whatever. Like,
the things that you just said. Like
if you don't understand it, then I don't know what to tell you. But like that's my answer there. I can just repeat it to you again.
Yeah, go ahead. You can repeat it again.
Because the difference
is you feel like minuscule. You feel like it's minuscule.
Well, I don't know if I would characterize it as minuscule. I don't know. I would say I would characterize it as something that can be overcome. Like just because you can admit, okay, right, among cis.
So at what point is it small enough?
You can admit that among cis women, that there's going to be someone who comes into a sport that has a complete genetic advantage, but that person is not unbeatable, right? That
I think LeBron James would be pretty unbeatable. He'd be pretty unbeatable.
LeBron James, right, among cis men, right, is not unbeatable, correct? Right, like he might have a genetic advantage over. I don't know if this is true, but let's pretend he does over 99%.
Yeah, but put him on testosterone for 2 years and put him in the women's division.
No. He had again. So engage with the question, please.
Okay.
Among 99% of the cis men in the NBA, right? But even then, like it's possible a person who trains hard enough, right, and works hard enough to beat him. Correct? LeBron James isn't unbeatable in basketball?
Is he I don't know. He's pretty good. I'd say the greatest of all time. By someone could probably beat him. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Some man could probably beat him.
Michael Jordan in his day was
a man.
Yes, exactly. No, I hear you. Right?
Yeah.
But Michael Jordan in his day was beaten, right? Like there's a whole list of athletes who are at the top of their game who were beaten, right? And beaten severely.
Not by a woman. Not by a woman.
Indeed, right? But also, since we understand that there are these advantages, and these advantages come
Right.
from lots of different ways. LeBron James had the time,
like biology.
LeBron, indeed, like biology, but also
Yeah.
financial resources, having the time to train, having access to coaches, having access to good nutrition. All these things add up,
Yeah.
and are advantages, but we don't discriminate based on any of those things.
So I have a question. Do you think Michael Jordan, or actually let's use LeBron James,
Okay.
he could go on testosterone for 2 years and then compete in the women's
Not
division?
testosterone. You don't, not testosterone.
I'm sorry. Not testosterone. Whatever
Estrogen?
hormone block. Yeah, estrogen. My bad. So if they go on estrogen for 2 years, do you think that's fair?
Would that be fair? Like I said previously, it's a possibility for some individuals.
Would it be close enough? Sorry, close enough. Close enough, yeah, because you didn't say
Maybe-
fair specifically. It just has to be at a certain point, like close enough.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Maybe that's true. I don't know.
Yes,
But like I'm saying,
no.
but I said, But I said at the very start of this, right? That it might be the case that a blanket rule isn't good enough, right?
It
So it
wouldn't
might be
work.
the case that for LeBron James, that 2 years isn't enough. Maybe it might
On
actually
athletic
have to
men
be longer.
only. It'll be like if you can lift too much, no.
Well, maybe
Short men only.
I don't know. But I'm saying
Or
there's a
hear me out.
possibility.
It could just be biological men. Like
Yeah,
that
or
seems a
we
little
could
more
just not-
simple.
Or we could just not like discriminate, right? Because
They have a league. They can go in the men's division. We can make a trans division.
yeah,
could
a
do-
trans
we could-
division filled with nobody. Wonderful, right? That's great. A separate but equal division filled with nobody. Fair enough, right? If we can gather 5 trans people one day, right? Then yeah, I guess we'll have a tournament for you. Great. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, we could. I could make it lit. I'm a real good events planner, let me tell you. I do
Okay.
recruiting for the show. Yeah, I could find it.
I'm sure trans women ever will be hitting you up for your services anytime now.
You sure? You sure?
Sorry. But yeah, so I just have deep disagreement there. Do you have any other points on this particular subject?
I have to go because I have a stream in 12 minutes now.
Okay.
But this was fun. I enjoyed it. If you want me back, I'll come back.
I just sent you a friend request on Discord.
Okay, you're my first Discord friend.
Awesome. But yeah, I would love to have you back, especially on your takes on the manosphere. That's why we came to we originally discovered you because of your takes there. I think that'd be super interesting to talk about.
People are reacting to me on Discord. I didn't even know. I had no idea you reacted to me.
Yeah. But
you better have said nice things.
I said things. But anyway.
Don't make me come back. Don't make me come back and call you out.
Oh, please do. I would love it. But Pearly, thank you so much. Good luck with your stream. Yeah, we'd love to talk to you again in the future.
Okay, cool. Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye. Okay. There we go. That's me. Yeah, I know, Doobie. She accepted. I was gonna say she accepted your friend request first, but I guess Doobie, you are forgettable. Look, Doobie. Women get like a taste of my charms, right? They tend to forget about other men. You were forgotten, Doobie, right? She spent time with me. She couldn't remember your fucking name. It happens. It happens a lot, actually. So Doobie. Doobie, you're gonna have to stay mad about that. Yeah, that was good. Oh, Naritas, great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I believe you don't agree with me on this, Naritas. I don't think you agree with me on this. But I am glad that you thought that was a good conversation, even if you may have thought it was wrong. I'm glad you stuck around for that. That was super fun. That was super fun. My man Doobie says it feels like cheating to see someone else hand the ULs. She only dates black men once. Okay. You're talking about for I'm gonna I'm assuming you're kidding about that. But Neritas, yeah, thank you. Nix Kalo. she needs to be put on panels. I hope. Oh my God, she's not a Discord person right now, so I can't contact her. I have to contact her or do something else because I know she's not gonna check her Discord because she just got acquainted to it. But I would love to talk to her, even just 1v1 like that. I thought that was a lot of fun. To tell you. Oh, seriously, Naritas? Oh, that's true. Okay. All right, fair enough. Well, look. Oh, I'm gonna say something that'd be highly offensive. No, I'll leave it alone. But not surprised. Okay. But back to it. Yeah, I'd love to have a 1v1 conversation with her on other things too. Yeah, she has a lot of disagreements with me, so I would definitely love to pick her brains. But that was a really fun conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sub to the channel, give bits or give subs, support this community if you liked it, and hit the follow button.